Just Because by Kause O'Grady. Chapter 2. As he spiraled down into the darkness, it became light. The sky resolved into a deep azure with tinges of pink, dancing across the high cirrus of early dawn. The air was soft and tropical, saturated with plumeria and the salt mist from the sea. A pelican swooped down and landed beside him, and he understood in his deep subconscious that this was one of the early dreams. He lifted his head towards the heavens and felt that familiar longing to be up there soaring. Pelican tilted her head in invitation, and then turned away, breaking into an ungainly run, her awkward steps cumbersome and mismatched, her oversized wings brushing the ground as she powered her heavy body into flight. Gravity fell away, and Kause sensed the power within as he pushed off from the tethers of earth and launched himself up into the sky. Kause O'Grady was 6 again. Honolulu, Punahou, toes digging into wet sand, surfboards, sunburn, catamarans, lay stands, pineapples, the street sounds of the international marketplace. It all came back to him. He spread his arms into wings, and Pelican laughed in a squawking cry as she flew in beside him. Together they arched and dipped, caught the thermals and rode them up to their peak, then dropped and plummeted back towards the beach. They arched their backs and sped only inches above the sand, then rose again, drifting beyond the big pink hotel and out over the ocean. The water out there was blue and restless. Flecks of foam raced across the crest of each wave. Below them, a flock of seagulls clustered and squalled over a turbulent patch of water. Sensing food, Pelican angled closer, flying in ever-tightening circles as she waited for opportunity. Then her wings arched into broad chevrons, and she dove headfirst down and down into the shoal of bait fish feeding just below the surface. Kause was so fascinated that he lost his balance, and as one often does in a dream, he began to fall out of control. His stomach lurched, and his heart pounded with the terror of it. Falling, diving, feeling his body jerk on that other level of consciousness. The sensation was so real he knew he was going to die the moment he crashed into the dark, liquid blackness below him. And then he relaxed as the reality of it rose to the surface of his primitive brain. This was just a dream. He analyzed it, resisted the fear, accepted the experience and the adventure as he plunged deep into that other world, letting the waters envelop him. He was flying again, buoyant this time. The water cradled him in a mother's caress that was both gentle and exhilarating. Kause was surrounded by a forest of sea fans and coral. All around him arrows of sunlight glittered and split into luminescent shafts, fading as they pierced the heart of those endless depths. Bright yellow snappers darted around his legs, and a school of angelfish gathered suspiciously over a mysterious opening in the reef. Kause was drawn to it. He had been here before. That dark hole, that mystery that it held, that primordial sense of adventure, curiosity and expectation of undiscovered adventure. The fish scattered as he approached, and then he was there, at the entrance. Nothing but a black hole in the reef, but his eyes adjusted. Darkness, then a faint light, a long, narrow tunnel. The spell of it lured him. For the first time, and every time, Kause O'Grady swam into unknown territory. Here the walls were encrusted with bivalves, mussels, oysters, clams, their shells partially open as they fed off plankton pushed along by the mild current. Where there should have been darkness, a single beam of sunlight illuminated the tunnel and guided him towards the next round of his destiny. The chamber he swam into was like its own universe, unending, expanding, giant crystals of light refracting off the walls in an eerie green-red fluorescent, light so bright it made him squint. Intrigued, he swam forwards towards a strange red coral that encrusted the walls. As he stared at it, he saw a crimson fire burning from within. He reached out, tentatively, and touched one of its branches. Sparks of brittle algae ignited and flared into fireflies, exploding around his face and drifting off into the white maze of light. Then he saw him. The white ancient Chinolea must have weighed nearly 500 pounds. His carapace was encrusted with barnacles. His broad flippers were scarred and worn from endless wanderings. They looked at each other in a strange recognition. Kause swam up to his new and old friend without fear, aware of the surge of joy and excitement at their inevitable meeting. He reached out and scratched the leathery creature's bony head. Turtle observed Kause with those huge, glossy eyes that contained over 100 years of wisdom. Turtle would become the father figure that Kause could always trust. He would be the sense of reason and stability that O'Grady could always fall back upon, even in the bad times. This was their first meeting, but they both knew they would be together for a lifetime. Pelican and Turtle and Kause, dream buddies till the end. They came to live in that special place that was only theirs. Whenever Kause needed the euphoria of soaring, or the tranquility that lingered beneath the waves, they would be there. They never judged him. They never made him feel unwanted or lost or isolated. They shared his adventures and his joy. With them he was never alone. Kause O'Grady closed his eyes and let the dream sweep over him. He was at peace.